large-scale Somali immigration make Minnesota stronger or weaker?
Certainly stronger.
Certainly stronger. Do you know what percentage of Somali-headed households in Minnesota are on food stamps?
No.
54%. Do you know what that number is for native Minnesota-headed households?
Well, to be clear, a majority of the...
It's 7%. There's a big difference between 54% and 7%, is there not?
Excuse me, sir, could I answer the question?
Let me move on. We've got a lot of questions here.
If you care about accountability, the rule of law, and protecting American taxpayers, you're going to want to watch this entire video. Before we get into it, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss any of these critical moments coming out of Washington.
And Chair recognizes Mr. Gill from Texas for the first question.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Thank you for holding this hearing so expeditiously. We all know this is an important issue, not just in terms of welfare fraud, but also immigration more broadly. So we appreciate it, and thank you for the witnesses for taking the time to come here. I want to start with you, Mr. Balu. Again, thank you for being here. Let me ask you, does large-scale Somali immigration make Minnesota stronger or weaker?
Certainly stronger.
Certainly stronger. Do you know what percentage of Somali-headed households in Minnesota are on food stamps?
No.
54%. Do you know what that number is for native Minnesota-headed households?
Well, to be clear, a majority of the...
It's 7%. There's a big difference between 54% and 7%, is there not?
Excuse me, sir, could I answer the question?
Let me move on. We've got a lot of questions here. What percentage of Somali-headed households in Minnesota are on Medicaid?
I don't know.
It's 73%. Do you know what that number is for Minnesota native households?
Again, you're using the phrase Minnesota native households, but the majority...
The number is 18%. That's quite an astounding difference. I think we would agree.
Can I answer the question, please?
Let me ask you one more, and then we can go on to that. What percentage of Somali-headed households are on welfare in general?
I don't know.
It's 81%. What about, let me just ask you, after 10 years of being in the United States, what percentage of Somali immigrant households continue to be on welfare?
I don't know.
The number is 78%. So even after 10 years, 78% of Somali immigrant households continue to be on welfare. Do you know what that number is for native Minnesota-headed households?
Again, you're using
non-Somali immigrant-headed households.
If I can just answer the question, when you're using the phrase native Minnesotans, the majority of Somali Minnesotans are as Minnesotan as any of us. They were born in the United States. It's only 8,000 of the 108,000 Somalis.
And nevertheless, the welfare usage is astoundingly different. Let me ask you again, does that make Minnesota stronger or weaker?
Again, I'd like the opportunity to answer the question here.
Go for
it. Again, the majority of Somali Minnesotans are born in the United States, as I understand it.
Okay, well, what percentage of working-age Somalians who have been in the U.S. for 10 years or more, how many of them speak English very well?
I don't know.
About half. The answer is about half. That seems pretty low, doesn't it?
Again, I keep trying to...
That doesn't sound like something that makes our country stronger to me, and I think most Americans would agree with me on that. I need to move on. Ms. Robbins, when would you say we concretely knew that widespread welfare fraud was occurring in Minnesota?
There have been reports since 2009 from the Office of Legislative Auditor. I would say the credible reports on child care fraud started surfacing 2011 to 2013.
So for over a decade?
Yes, sir.
When do you think Governor Walz knew about this fraud?
From the very beginning. He was running for governor in 2018 when there were prosecutions going on, when there was an OLA report, active cases in the news all the time.
And what was the Walz administration's response?
They actually did nothing when they got into office, and Lieutenant Governor Peggy Flanagan had been on the committee in the legislature that had hearings on child care fraud, and when they got into office, they did put $5 million into a little more money, but nothing changed. But
nothing. And let me ask you, Mr. Hudson, thank you for being here. Did those who commit this fraud, do they typically vote for Republicans or Democrats, in your opinion?
In my opinion, thank you for qualifying like that, I would say they most definitely overwhelmingly vote for Democrats.
Do they typically donate to Republicans or Democrats?
Not to my knowledge. They don't donate to Republicans, they donate to Democrats, in my opinion, yes.
Got it. So would you say this is the Somali population is an important demographic for Democrats to win over politically?
Unquestionably.
Got it. And do you think it would have hurt Democrats' political standing with the Somali population to investigate this fraud?
Very clearly.
Got it. So in other words, you're saying that there was a political incentive to cover up widespread Somali fraud. Is that right?
100%.
Got it. Let me ask all three of you. Did the Walz administration and Democrats intentionally, in your opinion, overlook this fraud while it was happening for political gain? I'll start with you, Ms. Robbins.
Absolutely. We have credible whistleblower reports that the Department of Human Services administration up to the OIG and the commissioner met with a group called the Minnesota Minority Child Care Association multiple times, and that they were trying to weaken protections. We wanted, we had several changes we wanted to do, and they opposed all of them.
And Mr. Hudson and Ms. Rarick, and then my time is up.
I would agree.
Absolutely. The whistleblowers confirm it.
Got it. Thank you.
What you're about to see is exactly why voters sent Representative Brandon Gill to Congress. While Democrats continue to tiptoe around serious allegations of fraud tied to Somali-linked programs, Gill steps in and does what too many in Washington refuse to do: ask direct questions, demand real answers, and refuse to be intimidated by political correctness. In this supercut, Gill systematically dismantles the Democrat narrative by focusing on the facts. He highlights documented cases of fraud involving taxpayer-funded programs, points to clear failures of oversight, and exposes how identity politics is being used as a shield to shut down legitimate scrutiny. This isn't about race or religion, no matter how hard the left tries to spin it. This is about stolen money, broken systems, and a government that keeps failing the people who fund it. What really stands out is how uncomfortable the Democrat becomes when pressed for specifics. When Gill asks for numbers, accountability, and enforcement, the answers turn vague fast. That's not an accident. The left is perfectly fine with endless spending as long as no one is allowed to question where the money goes. The moment someone like Gill does, they cry, hate, instead of fixing the problem. Gill also makes a broader point that resonates with millions of Americans. Compassion without accountability is not compassion at all. When fraud is ignored, it hurts legal immigrants, refugees who follow the rules, and working-class Americans who are already stretched thin by inflation and high taxes. Ignoring fraud doesn't make you moral, it makes you reckless. This exchange is a reminder of the stark contrast in Congress right now. On one side, Republicans like Gill are demanding transparency, enforcement, and respect for the taxpayer. On the other, Democrats are more concerned with protecting narratives and political alliances than protecting public funds. Moments like this are why these hearings matter. When the cameras are rolling and the questions are sharp, the truth has a way of breaking through the noise. Representative Gill didn't show mercy because the situation doesn't deserve it. Fraud is fraud, no matter who commits it, and it should be called out every single time. If you want more coverage like this, exposing waste, fraud, and corruption without apology, make sure you like this video, subscribe to the channel, and share it with someone who's tired of the double standards in Washington.